Is.
Yeah. Good evening and welcome to our monthly Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for October 28th. I'm going to call this meeting to order. First item is to verify a quorum, please, Heidi.
Present.
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 Scott Mulhern.
Present.
Present.
Here. Thank you. If you'll please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I have a little skit that I have to read here for every meeting. If you park in the rear employee parking lot, please move it to the front north parking lot because you'll be locked in. There's no public egress from the hallway to the south parking lot. The only public entrance is through the building, the door that you came in through. All access is limited to staff only and security precautions. Tonight, if you wish to speak to the podium, please sign in at the sheet at the back of the room, at the table by the door. Before you speak at the podium, please state your name and address for the record. Please address the chairman. Do not speak to the audience or the staff. If you have handouts to give it to the commission, please give the admin staff and they will distribute them as needed. Restrooms and drinking fountains are down the hall behind us. Feel free to use those at your leisure. And there are no food or beverages other than water allowed in the meeting room. First item up for discussion is approval of the Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting minutes of September 23rd, 2025.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner McDermott.
I may move that we approve the regular meeting minutes of September 23rd, 2025.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion to approve the minutes by Commissioner McDermott and a second by Commissioner Mosqueda. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. The next item up is major amendment case number 23-01, which we are going to unfortunately have to move down the list until another commissioner is present because I have to recuse myself from that one, so therefore we will not have a quorum for that one. So we're going to move it down a couple cases. He should be here in 15 or 20 minutes. So next case we're going to go to is rezoning number 5, rezoning case number 25-07. Daniel Scott, agent for John P. Thompson, requests rezoning of parcel 19.57 gross acres in size from rural area 40 acre minimum to rural area 5 acre minimum, assessors parcel number 169-30-003, located at 16110 East County 3rd Street, Yuma, Arizona. Staff?
Richard Munguia, Senior Planner. So yeah, as you stated, it is a request to rezone this parcel from RA 40 to RA 5. It's located in the Dome Valley Welton planning area, and the intent is just to rezone it to RA 5. The subject property is identified by the crosshatch in red. It's zoned RA 40. Property in green is YPG. The yellowish portions are SR2. Blue is RA 5. Purple is RA 10. The dark green is RA 40, and the tan is SSB2. The properties in blue were previously approved rezones with their case numbers attached, with the most recent one being in 2003. This is an aerial photo of the property. The subject property has access off of the Castle Dome Diversion Channel, which is an unpaved and unnamed road at that area at that point in the map. YPG is to the north, And there's scattered single-family homes in the area, and there are no paved roads out there. Comments were received by YPG after the finalization of the staff report. An official letter from YPG should be in front of you at this time. And the summary of their comments are that they oppose the rezoning. Staff is recommending approval of this request based on the request being in compliance within the comprehensive plan, subject to the following performance condition and schedule for development as shown on the screen. And that concludes my staff report.
Realize that involved another YPG property either. So we need to move that one down too then.
Okay, I'll be happy to present again.
My apologies on that. Anything to do with YPG, unfortunately, I cannot partake in discussion, so that's my fault for not seeing that. So we're gonna go to number 6 then, rezoning case number 25-18. Matthias is here now, so. Wouldn't stay. I am going to recuse myself from this case and the major amendment case number 23-01 as there's a conflict of interest. Going to hand it over to Mr. Matthias, and he will take it from there. Staff has already gone over number 5. We're on number 5 right now. We'll go back to number 4.
Would you like me to represent this? No, that's fine. Okay. Well, to summarize, staff is recommending approval, subject to the conditions on screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Are we doing a discussion here? I'm sorry, okay. Did you say that, what is the access to this property?
On all the GIS maps, it's the Castle Dome Diversion Channel.
And who owns that?
It doesn't have an owner. It looks like it's public right-of-way possibly. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'm really thinking that that probably is not legal access.
Well, if you look to the southern west portion, oops, you can see that there's Avenue 16E, and that's public right-of-way, and then it opens up right here into the diversion channel. And it appears that way. I'm not sure. It's possible that the name of that road isn't correct or the area isn't correct because it's a little difficult to tell on the maps.
My only thought being that it is a diversion that is probably part of the Welton Mohawk irrigation and drainage system.
Mhm.
And Welton Mohawk is not public access. So does the applicant have any information on that?
We'll go ahead and get that one.
When they call.
So we'll get that answered right now when we bring them up, yeah. Any other questions from commissioners to staff? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and bring up the owner or the applicant, and then we'll open it up to the public.
I'm the applicant, but he's my agent and he's handling it.
It's up to you, sir, whoever would like to come up. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Daniel Scott. I live at 16120 East County 3rd Street. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As far as the access that goes in to get to my home, I go up County.
Sorry, sir, I can't hear.
Sorry, I was looking for Mike. In order to get to my house, I go up County 17E, and then it turns into a private dirt road that we maintain ourselves, and my house is right there. As far as myself looking for this property, I've purchased both of my pieces of property from Mr. Thompson by myself, and I'm just looking to get the rest, a section of his property that's separate from his home, to add to my backyard. I just don't want anybody else to purchase it and develop it or do anything. I want to keep it rural. I want to clean up the trash that's there, and I want it to make it look nice, just for myself and my family. It's a 19-point-something acre property. I'm looking to purchase 10 acres from him.
All right.
So, I'm a little confused on this.
If you'd like, I can walk up and point to the map if you'd like.
The rezoning, so
Yeah, it's a rezoning, and if, now, which would then allow the owner to sell off the remaining parcels.
Yes, ma'am. His property is a 19-acre piece. We're looking to rezone it. It's rezoned currently as R40A. We were told to do R5A as opposed to R10A. Either way, to me, it doesn't matter. I just want to be able to purchase the property so that other people outside don't come in, they don't try to develop it, and don't try to change it from what it is to be a nice, quiet, rural area.
You talked to the irrigation district about it, about your access?
I have not talked to them about the access because County 17E goes through my property. I own, there was a map that had all the different parcels numbers. Would you like me to point? to
Yeah,
them?
we're gonna go back to that. So is that the map you're talking about?
Yes, sir. I own 7, 6. The rest of my family owns 8, 9, 5, and I'm looking to purchase a section of Mr. Thompson's property.
What should be the one in the pink crosses?
Okay,
So
okay.
his access is still.
Yeah,
covered.
well, exactly, but,
Yeah.
but the way it was presented, it
Right.
didn't make sense to me. Thank
As
you.
far as working with Weldon Mohawk, we don't have irrigation access. There's no canal right of ways. There's nothing there. It is all roll or wash. It won't be approved for building and development because it's in floodplain. I just want to keep it what it is, and I have the opportunity to purchase it. So I'm moving forward with trying to purchase it.
I understand. Thank you, sir.
That's all it is.
Thank you. Any other questions for the applicant?
Yes, sir.
It's not in the Welton Mohawk District, Irrigation District?
To my understanding, it is. We're on Weldon Mohawk Power.
There's no water by there?
There's no water. That's correct, sir. The water ends at the levee, so it's south of us by quite a ways.
Is there a drainage
No.
that goes in that area?
It's a wash that I'm looking at purchasing essentially. They've had a levee that was built up just to prevent flooding, but it's not it's not farmable land.
No, I know that, sir, but,
His answer, the question, I guess, is there an irrigation ditch, and you answered that there is no.
There's not
irrigation.
an irrigation ditch, no. We are on our well and
okay, and
That's all.
the private land you cross, once you leave 17E, is owned by your family?
that's correct.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, nothing much. Thank you. We'll call you back if needed.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here from the public that would like to speak for or against this item? What? Please state your name and address, please.
My name is Jonathan Olbert, address 3966 South Jadewood Drive, Yuma, Arizona, 85365. And I'll be representing Yuma Proving Ground, speaking in opposition for this parcel change in zoning. So our major concern is that when you split up larger zones or larger parcels into smaller parcels, it's not necessarily for what is this landowner or this one that wants to buy that land piece, what is he going to do with the property? It's the next property owner and the next property owner after that. And so YPG is mainly concerned about preserving the ability to conduct our test mission. And adjacent to these properties, including next to the ones that are already owned, parcels 4 and 5 there in RA5, those we have an active dust test course that's right there. And at the dust test course, what we do is we purposefully drive around basically in an oval with military vehicles and kick up as much dust as we can so that the vehicles we're testing can drive behind it in order to simulate somewhat of a convoy situation in a really dusty military environment. And so when we kick up all this dust, we have to make sure that the wind is just right, especially if there's more development. And so the more that these areas are developed and the more people that we get into those areas, the less we're able to do this testing safely. And if we can't do the testing safely, then we don't do it at all. And so that's our greatest concern, is that we're going to lose this capability to conduct dust testing in this area just because of the encroachment and the development or subdivision into smaller parcels, which could allow for the building of more houses, get more people into the space. Also next to this area, I don't know if you're able to pull up Google Earth, but we also conduct long-range precision fires testing. And basically it's one of the Army's initiatives to push the limits and extend the envelope on what the range of our artillery systems are. And so we load up max charge munition, artillery rounds, and basically fire them for our maximum distances. And so concerns that we have is basically this is kind of on the border here, so we have to fire basically from one border all the way to the other border in order to stay contained within our range space. And so we have to basically shut down large areas of land. And so almost like a backblast, if you would, like we have to have a surface danger zone, which basically would say, hey, there's no inhabited buildings there, there's no people in those areas. And sometimes those zones go outside of our boundaries, but as long as there's no inhabited buildings or people there at the time, we can do those firing events. So if there's development here in the future, I'm not saying with this individual here that wants to purchase land, but in the future, that would limit us in our ability to conduct our mission there for long-range precision fires. Also, bringing in more people means you're bringing in more electronic equipment, routers, cell phone usage, and that kind of creates a noisy atmosphere for electronics that we do testing on. So those are our major concerns for this environment as far as impacting our test mission. Some of our other concerns are, with the safety of the personnel there. Obviously, the dust testing that can, if the wind shifts or something like that, now we have a large cloud or plume of dust that enters into areas that are inhabited by people. Also, that wash that's right there, that wash goes from YPG kind of down into the location where these parcels are. And so back when Patton was doing a lot of his testing, a lot of the munitions that they fired scattered around everywhere. They were probably driving tanks right over the area where the parcel in question is and firing munitions. And so usually when these washes run, it unearths a lot of different munitions, especially old ones, landmines, unexploded tank rounds, artillery rounds, mortar rounds, things like that. And so that's a potential for harm for the individuals that live or try to develop on that land. And so when you break it up into smaller parcels, usually the understanding of the risks of that area, they kind of float away or are lost over time once the changes hands a lot, and especially if there's multiple landowners. So those are our major concerns from YPG, pending any questions.
No, thank you. Any questions on this side? Thank you.
Just, how long has that dust course and all of that been going on?
They've been doing the dust course operations since it was the Iraq, I think it was the Iraq War that kicked off the major need for it. But they even started like towards the end of Afghanistan. So I'm trying to think, that'd probably be 2002, 2003 was when they started doing the dust testing there in large quantities. And usually it's limited to summertime when it's the driest time, and that's when they start doing the dust testing. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public? Let me get the public and then we'll call back the applicant, okay? All right, hearing none, bring it back to commissioners. You guys, questions from the applicants to answer? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Am I able to speak in regards to it?
Yeah, you can. Just address us, please. Just answer any questions you have.
As far as unexploded ordnance, which he was talking about, that could be washed into the property through the wash, on the northern edge of the property, there is a levee that's been built up. It's about 6 foot tall, and it follows the entire stretch of the property. Also north of the property is a high-tension power line in between us and YPG. I don't know if they have an agreement, but there is a substantial amount of space in between the properties that, well, if they're shooting into, they're going to be shooting into high-tension power lines that power California. So that would be a larger issue, I would think, than a person wanting a piece of dirt. I don't really have a whole lot to say on that. As far as the dust testing, I've seen that. I'm a combat veteran. I was stationed out here, and it doesn't bother me one bit. I just like my quiet place in the dirt.
Any questions? All right, thank you. Did you want to speak as well? Yeah, I saw you raise your hand earlier.
All I wanted to say was
Please come to the podium and state your name and address, please.
I'm Deborah Lowe. I'm John Thompson's wife, and I've lived out in Dome Valley since 1983, and they were running that dust course when I lived out there because it was a lot freer, and I had horses, and, you know, we would go up where we shouldn't go probably. But anyway, yeah, so it's been going a lot longer than 2003. So I just
You
want to
mentioned
bring
the
that up.
Patton years, so.
And it's not, oh, and then I was also a radar technician, and I worked, and where they fire the munitions is way, way farther than where we are. It's on a pole line road, which goes out toward Welton. So there's never been any that type of thing anywhere where we live. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. All right, bring it back to the commission for action or questions to staff before, any questions to staff?
I have a question. Could we ask the applicant that they would do something like we do with the airport as far as noise? Because about items that are there because of YPG, that there could be problems with this, or noise, dust, something that they realize what's there?
As part of the performance conditions,
Yeah.
item number 1, sub item B is a recorded YPG disclosure statement, which will acknowledge that there's noises and things. If this were to be approved, that is a requirement prior to any land division.
Yeah, we normally see that in the areas here. Okay. 5 years, board of approval. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll now entertain a motion.
Mr. Commissioner, would you receive a motion?
Go ahead.
I make a motion that we approve rezoning case number 2517.
All right, thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any against?
Aye.
One.
Mr. Chairman, we need a roll call.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do roll call.
Nay.
Nay.
Yes. Yay.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
I think I get 2 votes. No.
Mr. Chairman, the motion failed.
All right, motion fails. Get with staff in regards to options, I guess, for if the applicant would like to re-evaluate.
Mr. Chairman, the commission can make another motion.
That motion fails.
Make a re-motion? Did we do the same vote again?
You could, if you wanted to make another
Is
motion.
that what you're recommending?
And maybe you could add some discussion to this time to try to persuade some of the other. No. Go ahead and make the motion, Mr. Bowers.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we approve rezoning case number 2517 after discussion.
A second?
Second.
Second, I got a motion, I have a second. All in favor, say, well, discussion. I understand the YPG's, just to add to it, concerns, but there's a buffer zone and there's a line where they stop, and at what point are we not allowed to let landowners continue with their land ownership and do what they want to do with their land? That is the question. I don't know if there's an answer from staff on that. I mean, it seems that we're going to be having these issues all the time in regards to it being close to the YPG, but it's not on the YPG. And I know sometimes we have the decibel, the 300, whatever it is. What options do landowners have here then in this case when you have YPG coming opposing the use of their land? That's the reason I'm voting yes on this, because to me it's not fair for the property owner to want to sell and divide his property. It's their ownership. The other person has been living there. They're okay. They understand the recordings that are going to be done with the approval, you know, with regards to YPG statement, and also with the what was it, the aerial navigation statement. So I see why we, as the Planning and Zoning Commission, stop an owner from doing what they want to do if that's what they're trying to do with their land. It's not on YPG land. It's not, I mean, so what is the distance that they're okay with? 2 miles, 3 miles? How many other applicants are going to come in the future south of the YPG want to do stuff, and they're going to there's a reason why there's a boundary for it, so. As they mentioned, it's been done since the Patton years, 34, no, that's 50, I don't know, I'm bad at math, but, so that's the reason that's the reason I'm voting yes, because it's not fair for the landowner who's trying to do what they're trying to do. And the property owner is trying to purchase this property to maintain its use, and we cannot, in my opinion, we cannot deny someone on what might happen in the future, because in that case, every item that we bring to this board is the future gonna be an issue, so.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Is there a way that the gentleman can buy the property without doing a rezoning?
The subject properties zoning is RA40, which is a 40-acre minimum,
And right now, it's not
and
even
it is,
conforming to it.
it's at roughly 20 acres. So it would be, if they were to do anything, it would end up being deficient. It wouldn't meet the development standards for the zoning district.
But again, it's a formality and what we're trying to correct for the owners.
I didn't check that far.
So with that, that's my discussion on it. We have a motion, we have a second. I'm not sure if that's gonna help anyone change their vote, but with that, I'll call for a vote. Roll call to avoid.
Rolling my eyes at you. I do see the property owner's perspective. I do share the concern for YPG, but ultimately it is the property owner's land, so I will change to yes.
Nay.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Motion passes. Thank you. What item are we going on to? But that's you now?
No.
Still? All right, item number 4, major amendment case number 2301. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting this case. This case was continued from October 24, 2023, and then again on October 22nd, 2024. The request is to change the land use designation of a 43.039 gross acre portion of a parcel that has 168 acres in size from agriculture rural preservation to retirement community plan unit development. This property is not within any known planning area, and it's located at the intersection of Highway 95 and Martinez Lake Road in Yuma, Arizona. And this major amendment will accommodate the rezoning of the 43.039 gross acres of the property from rural area 20 acre minimum to planned unit development to establish a mixed use development. This is the land use and vicinity map on the subject parcel hatched, parcel number 3 at the center of the map. Highlighted in yellow is the portion to be amended. Surrounding the subject parcel is YPG parcels with no land use. This map is showing the subject parcel at the center, outlined in red. The texture in blue is YPG, and also we show the distance from known planning areas like Martinez Lake, North Gila planning area, and Don Valley. This is the site plan provided by the applicant showing how the property is going to be developed. It's going to be this is a more detailed site plan showing the 43.039 gross acres is going to be developed in 2 phases. I will let the applicant kind of go and describe what they want to propose there. This is an aerial view showing the subject parcel in reference to the military facilities. So if you look in northwest from the east property line, now looking southwest from the northeast corner. You're looking south. Staff received comments from YPG, not in favor of the request. We received comments from ADOT, Welton Mohawk, and Arizona Game and Fish Department. We also had held a public information and participation process meeting on September 4, 2025. Staff provided information to the residents that attended that meeting. The residents mostly have questions about the proposed uses. Yuma Proving Grounds representative was present, and also the applicant and his team was present at that meeting. Staff recommends denial of Mayor Amendment Case number 23-01 based on the following. The amendment is not beneficial to the plan because it does not help achieve the goals and objectives of the comprehensive plan, specifically section 14.5. Number 2, the amendment will affect or endanger the public's health, safety, and welfare. And number 3, the amendment is not in character with existing land uses and will allow for incompatible and inconsistent land uses. Mr. Chairman, this concludes staff's presentation. Ready to answer questions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Barraza. Any questions from commissioners to staff? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and open it up to the public at this time. Is the applicant here? Would they like to make a comment?
This is land that
Sorry, can you state your name and address for the record?
Bruce Jacobson, 1334 South Fifth Avenue, Yuma, Arizona.
Thank you, sir.
This is property that we purchased over 20 years ago. We have met with the military many times in past years. And when we met with them, they requested that we provide a C-store, some boat storage, and we've been working on that and getting things together. And then 3 or 4 years ago, they had a new commander that decided that they didn't want it. And so we would like to move forward with this develop a C-store, which would have a gas station and little convenience market things for the public there at Martinez Lake. We also have had many requests for some boat storage and parking facilities out there at the entrance where people coming over from California and other places could leave their boats and park into the storage areas. And then in addition to that, we would like to have possibly a small trailer park that people could come and stay there rather than stay out at the Martinez Lake area when they can't get facilities out there. I don't know what questions you may have, but I'd be happy to try to answer those if I could.
I have a question. Was this the same property that we saw a month or two ago that was going to be a retirement home? It's the exact same land it'll look like. So that's no longer, no, it's different land?
No, it's not a retirement community. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that still part of the plan?
I have never planned on anything for a retirement community.
You had some kind of
Mr. Chairman?
elderly home?
Hold on a second.
Commissioner Van Wy should not be participating in the discussion, first of all. The request to change the land use designation is to go from agriculture, rural preservation to retirement community / planned unit development. That is the land use designation that they are proposing. If the major amendment goes through, the applicant will proceed with a rezoning request to actually establish specific uses on the property. He is proposing a convenience store, possibly a restaurant, some RV parking spaces, and then some, looks like apartment type units. But at this time, you're taking action on the change to the comprehensive plan to change the land use designation to retirement community / planned unit development.
I have never planned on apartments there. I don't know if that's part of their.
I don't understand because the request is from ag rural preservation to retirement community.
That's the classification in Maggie.
And that's what the request is.
I think
that's what manages
their designation. We have asked for the C-store, the RV park area, and the boat storage and storage units is what we plan on now. I have not planned on any apartments. That may be their designation, but
No,
that's-
Mr. Chairman, their narrative and their site plan that was submitted shows an area intended for motel/apartments.
I'm looking at the site plan here. I'm trying to figure out is that the narrative or is that something different than the site plan that they're providing?
Well, that, Mr. Chairman, that is the site plan. That is the information that was provided to staff.
Right, and on this site plan, that's where it shows that on there? Apartments or something?
The northwest corner of the property.
Okay, he says that there's some apartments there. I have not looked at it for
Okay.
apartments, but
Okay.
apparently there is.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not right there.
I
It's at an angle, Nate.
I have grave concerns. This is so incompatible with that area.
Right, especially with
And
apartments.
I realize that there's a lot of people who use the lake. I was one of them for 30 years, but to stick this out within the boundaries surrounded by YPG is just crazy to me. I'm sorry. But the other thing I do think is going to occur there as well is they're going to put one of the roundabouts right there at Martinez Lake Road as well, which is not going to make anything easier for the traveling public. But
Well, roundabouts are supposed to make it easier, whether it does or doesn't, that's the.
it hasn't seemed to work in town. But
Seems to be,
you know, all of the it just doesn't seem
you have a lot of concerns.
to make, yeah, I've got a lot of concerns. And plus, you don't have water. You show on the drawing that some of it's going to be in agriculture.
We do have water. There is a well there.
Okay, but
Okay.
you don't have power.
Power is there.
And again, right now, the
Oh,
discussion is
Mohawk.
not the development, it's the major amendment case part of it.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
so
I-
we're
I-
getting into the weeds of the development
Yeah.
part, which would be if it passes the next part,
It's
so.
not compatible
Yeah.
with the area, so.
Thank you. Any other questions from commissioners or the applicant? Okay, thank you. We'll let you know if we need you to come back up. Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Go ahead, representing the applicant still.
My name is Raul Garcia Molina from Jacobson Engineering. I just want to clarify something. We have some apartments proposed in the future, but there are no retirement apartments. We have a well, like Bruce mentioned that. We have no intention to do any agriculture at this time. That's why we want to rezone to this specific land use. Now, we've been trying to do different things and we've been not allowed or have some opposition from the YPG. Okay, and we have a private property in the middle of the YPG. We need to do something with it or sell it. That land has been offered to the YPG. They don't want to buy it, or they haven't done any offer. So we're the private owners of that land. We need to do something about that, and we want to improve that. Now, the storage is for basically for Martinez Lake area and transit people out that's coming through through Highway 95. We met ADOT. There's no intention to do any roundabouts there. It's going to be dangerous to do something like that. So that's just want to clarify something.
Yeah, I've seen the ADOT plan, future plan, so yeah. Okay.
I looked it up on the ADOT website today, and it is there at Martinez Lake Road.
Not that I know. We talked to
Just
them
added it,
about a
yeah.
month ago. There's no intentions. I might be wrong, but that's what we have.
Thank you. Anyone from the public, please? Got someone behind you first, yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Aaron Selliot, 728-07001. I think this comes straight down to a very simple case of land use and a person's right who owns a property. This gentleman has been paying over $7,000 a year in taxes to Yuma County, and he's still not been able to use his land. In 20 years, imagine how much, that comes down to. He has a right to develop this property, and we understand that YPG are our neighbors, as is the Marine Corps, and that this town owes a lot to the service members and the people that are here. We all understand that. But they don't own the whole thing. They have boundaries and they have buffers, and they should work with inside of those and allow members of the public who purchase land and purchase property in good faith to be able to develop that within reason. I think the area that he's trying to develop maybe is outside of what we planned for that area, but he's been trying several things for 20 years. Now, we can't begrudge him the opportunity to develop that in a reasonable way. If this isn't reasonable, he needs to know a way ahead from now moving forward so that he can at least do something with his property. Paying $500 a month for 20 years, I think he's given enough time and enough effort to this community, at this development and many others that we all know he's been a part of, that he should be able to do something with this. We need to clear a way ahead for areas that are surrounding the YPG area. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Go ahead. He was up second. Hold on. He was up next. So, yeah. Go ahead. Okay.
Probably address.
All right. All right.
My name is Jay Meyerdirk, 12540 South Colina Avenue, out in the foothills. The agenda item is advertised or noticed as a change of the master land use plan, or the master plan, whatever you want to call it, from one land use to another. That's what we need to be addressing. The owner can do what he wants with his land, but the purpose of the land use plan is to determine what those possibilities are that are compatible with the remainder of the community. Also, we're seeing this is deja vu all over again. We had this same item on the agenda several months ago or a year ago, when we were addressing several other major land use map changes. There is still no water, there are still no public services, there are still no plans for public services, there is still no demand for leapfrog sprawl. Just one other comment, if you could put the aerial photo view up on the map. This is within the noise factor or the runway distance from the airport that is shown there. I'm sure the other speakers will address that. And just one additional comment. This is a proposed infringement in the middle of what remains of the Yuma County Scenic Road Network that we was just addressed recently. This is in the middle of the Yuma County desert natural area, and there's no need to modify the master plan to accommodate it at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else from the public? We're doing the public remarks right now. We'll let you come back up after we're done. Now, we know you. Go ahead.
Name is Jonathan Olbert, speaking on behalf of Yuma Proving Ground. Address is 3966 South Jade Ridge Drive, Yuma, Arizona 85365.
Thank you, Jonathan.
All right, so I'll speak on a few counterpoints to what was discussed earlier. And, I think the zoning of areas around military installation, they're there for a specific reason and not to be changed because that's incompatible with the stuff that's ongoing at that installation. And so an agricultural zoning next to an installation would have less an impact on operations at a military installation rather than a residential or mixed use, which would have a significant impact to operations, a negative impact to operations. Also, the purchasing of land, the YPG is unable to purchase land. Our commander is not allowed to engage in negotiations for land. Not now, not then, not ever before. The Army Corps of Engineers is the only organization that has the authority to engage in real estate actions with landowners. And so whatever handshake agreements were made before, we don't have copies of those records. There's no written proof of anyone trying to make any type of agreement. We did have a lease agreement with the property owner, and that was so that nothing was built or nothing was done, and so that we could mitigate and reduce any impact to ongoing operations at YPG. So there was an ongoing lease. The following years, increased leases or monetary amounts were requested for those lease payments, and the Army Corps of Engineers was the ones that determined that it wasn't the valuation didn't allow for that lease payment to be made, and so then that's kind of when we stopped, or YPG or the Army stopped going after the lease or trying to purchase the land. So that's kind of where it stalled out. But really, I want to talk about three main issues that should be concerning, mainly concerning for YPG and the local economy. One concerning to the safety of the public, and the next is, majorly, concerning towards everyone. And so the first one is the risk to the YPG mission. So the big concern is the negative impact to our overall test mission. As you can see, this is the micro view of the actual site. And so if you look here, you can see that this is our major airfield, and we have a runway that is going right towards that parcel there. And so if we have aircraft that we're testing and we're experimenting with, that aircraft has to maintain strict departure and approach angles. And so any deviation from that, and that aircraft can't test at YPG. Also, the military free fall school operates out of there. And so if they have any emergency for whatever reason, they have an entire aircraft packed full of some of the most highly trained professionals in the military. And if they have to make an emergency landing anywhere or in the desert, they have to be able to do those maneuvers. And any development of sites at this location would present a risk to them. Now, the increase to the overall electromagnetic spectrum noise floor, I had briefly discussed about that before. But imagine if I had a piece of paper and a dot on it. Everyone could easily tell me what that dot looks like. Now imagine if I just scribbled all over it, filled it all in, and then now try to distinguish what that dot is. When we're testing sensitive electronics and radio frequency signal interrupters, we have to be able to distinguish out of a dark space what that one light bulb is. And so that's basically how we read the electromagnetic spectrum. And right now it's quiet. But every time there's encroachment and there's more development around us, that noise floor rises up and it's more difficult to see things. Similar to that is also when we do testing at night, we're looking at things through sensitive optics. They're looking out across the desert. And what we want to see is a dark desert. We don't want to see a giant glowing yellow ball or a white ball from some developed land use area there. And some of that really disrupts our ability to test those sensors. And if we can't test those sensors accurately, they're not going to test them at YPG. And so also safety planning and risk management with surface danger zones. I mentioned that before with some of our artillery testing. We also have that for aircraft that's flying around. And so whenever we are testing experimental aircraft or we're testing experimental munitions, we have to have a surface danger zone that basically figures out what's the risk to personnel in the area. If there's a significant risk to personnel in the area, we can't do the testing. And so why am I concerned with what happens if we don't do testing at YPG? Well, it's the potential loss or economic impact, that negative impact to Yuma County. And so back in 2015, there was an assessment done by the Greater Yuma Economic Development Corp. And they determined that YPG generates $1.4 billion of economic impact in Yuma County. And so if we start eroding away our ability to conduct test missions, you'll see that eroding away of economic impact and dollars into YPG. Contractors aren't staying at hotels. You won't have people buying gas or parts or spare items in town. You won't have them eating at your restaurants. You'll have that loss in economic activity. So the next major point is that it's going to be a significant risk to public safety. You got the proximity to the flight line. We have manned and unmanned aircraft running out of there all the time. We do have things that crash. Now we try to plan for if they're going to fail, we want them to fail on our range, but accidents happen. And we try to prevent that, but accidents happen. Also, we're within 1 mile, if you look on here, this is 1 mile, and you're next to our major firing line, where the previous person mentioned, that's Pole Line Road right there, and Firing Front Road. 2 major roads where we are doing our major artillery testing. We're doing max charge firing events with 155 millimeter howitzers, 120 millimeter mortars. We have M1 Abrams tanks firing. So what is that concern? Well, at the muzzle of 155 millimeter howitzer, it's approximately about 180 decibels. And basically what that is about 25 times your standard rock concert. So imagine that being 1 mile away from that site. 1 mile away, that basically, depending on the atmospheric conditions, reduces down to approximately 130 decibels. 130 decibels is still unsafe conditions for individuals that are residing there, trying to live there. I think there's a person that was here talking about a noise complaint, and there's a lot of boom boom going on at YPG, and it is day and night. And the facilities that we have at YPG are hardened to make sure that we don't have those hearing impacts to our personnel. We do industrial safety health inspections of all employees that are in risk areas. All of our personnel out on the ranges are required to wear hearing protection. If something happened where there's people that were living there and there's development there, we have no control over that, and it's a health hazard for all the people there. Also, there's tens of thousands of pounds of munitions and other hazardous materials that drive along that highway and are going in and out of our facilities. Now, if we have roundabouts in those areas and we have a lot of different personnel, people living in that community in different residential areas or retirement homes or apartments, that's a huge concern. Also, if we have people slamming on the brakes in order to turn into a gas station or missing a turn, that's going to be an issue. The more traffic throughput that we have here is going to be a greater risk to all of those large big rigs that are driving around there. And they carry huge, wide, oversized loads, or they carry extremely heavy loads, and that can be a threat to public safety if you have more traffic in that area, which hasn't been considered yet. So the next issue is that there's UXO contaminated areas everywhere, highlighted in the pink shading there. If you go back one as well, all that pink shaded area is UXO contaminated areas. UXO is unexploded ordnance, which is back here from all the way from the Patton era all the way till today. Some of those munitions are basically the undetonated munitions that if someone came across them, drove over them, kicked them, picked them up, or actually disturbed the land around it, those things could go off. And so that's a significant threat. Now, sure, they're off of that property, but people wander. If people are next to our installation, they will wander on there. Every single winter, we get winter visitors that come by that try to access our ranges accidentally or intentionally. They're driving their UTVs, four-wheel drive vehicles, everything, and get onto our ranges. We have to cancel or stop all of our artillery programs, everything that's going on, and get them off the range, issue them a citation, whatever it may be. But it's a significant threat and danger to people that do that. And sometimes it's accidental. And so the more people you have in that area, they'll have toys, they'll pull them out of those storage lots, and they'll want to go play with them in the desert. And they'll see our areas, and they'll drive out there, and they'll utilize them. So the last thing I want to discuss is very important to us all. It's the risk to national security. This location here, they'll be able to see every single person that comes onto YPG, contractor, civilian, military. They'll be able to see every single vehicle, piece of equipment, aircraft that flies in and out of that airport. They'll be able to set up equipment if they so wanted to that listens in to all of our communications on digital radio. They'll be able to hear all the different RF signals that are going on between sensitive pieces of equipment, classified systems, and they'll be able to disguise themselves if it's a foreign adversary threat in the midst of a populated area that it doesn't look like it's a big issue or they're out of the ordinary. And so we run background checks on every single person that works at YPG. And if we have somebody that's in the middle of YPG, we have no ability to discern whether they're there for legitimate reasons or not. And so for our concerns about our risks to national security, what it means for the health and safety of the public, and what it means for the negative impact to our mission and the overall impact to our economy, YPG opposes the development of this parcel.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Before you leave, do you know Kevin Hicks?
Yes, I do. He's the Yuma Test Center commander, Lieutenant Colonel. We also
Letter.
have,
He pointed out all the stuff you did in this letter, so thank you.
yeah, thank you very much.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How long ago was the Army Department of Engineers or whatever when they decided that, no, we don't want this land? How long, when was
So
that?
the Army Corps of Engineers, I can't say specifically when that date was.
Was it
I
recent?
phone a friend here, I don't know, maybe.
There were some reviews of appraisals and stuff that happened maybe 3 years ago, but I don't.
So approximately 3 years, and we had been paying lease payments to the parcel owner through that time period, and then that's when the appraisal went beyond what Army Corps of Engineers was authorized to pay.
Question?
So, if this piece of land or that area is so important for YPG, how come you guys don't come into a negotiation with the owner of the land? Because it's really unfair for the owner of the land to be paying taxes on that, and you guys don't want them to use that land. I mean, I feel that it's unfair.
Yeah, so there's using the land for this designated zoning, right? And then there's trying to change the zoning and develop the area into something that is outside of its proper compatibility with ongoing activity.
I believe you can do anything you want with your property, with your house. So I believe that if he's the owner of the land, he can, apply for any permit that he needs.
Yeah, so I mean, you could basically say, so why don't we allow there to be skyscrapers built next to Marine Corps Air Station? Would that be appropriate? I mean, if they own the land, is that
well?
appropriate?
I mean, if I would want the land so bad, I would buy it.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I'm pretty sure YPG.
So YPG does. YPG does want to purchase the land, and so there's a proper process to go through that. If I had a checkbook right now, and I was able to use our money for it, I'd buy it tomorrow. But I cannot. I'm not authorized to do that. Our commander's not authorized to do it. He has to work through the system. We've opened up negotiations and talks with Army Corps of Engineers to try to pursue that. And so they're the only ones that are able to communicate with the landowner in order to try and negotiate a price. And so we have approached Army Corps of Engineers to do this. And that's in kind of what we're trying to.
And the time frame kind of makes sense if you're saying about 3 years ago with spending cuts and so forth, that probably had something to do with that.
Yeah, yes. Right now we're under furlough.
We understand
so right now,
how that.
I'm not
right.
being paid.
I
I'm
understand how that works.
Will,
So
right?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, any other questions for Jonathan? All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else from the public? Name and address, please, for the record.
Mr. Chairman, my name is JP Mann. I live at 3453 West 39th Street. And I don't want to state anything that's been said here. I just wanted to make some points that may not have been made. That this property is within YPG boundary. It's close to it, but it's also at along a major highway at the last intersection between Yuma and Quartzsite. It's the last thing. It also supports the traffic going to Martinez Lake, which Martinez Lake was developed. Hidden Shores, the area was developed before comprehensive plans, before zoning existed. So we have that out there now. It's one of the, it's some of the most expensive property in Yuma County. It's people come in and out every weekend, all year long to use that. and support some of those recreational activities the gentleman was talking about. There's got to be some, being a good neighbor. We already have those areas out there. Martinez Lake is already there. Boat storage and things are compatible. I know they're applying change of land use to support a planned development, which I believe would have to be spelled out and supported to make sure it's in compliance. So, I know that we talked a lot about the pink area, right? And the different areas out there, but I don't want to, forget this is along along the highway. It's so. If they're doing things that are that dangerous, it probably should be some space away from that highway where people are traveling in their in their cars day to day. The munitions and things. If it's that dangerous, people shouldn't be driving up Highway 90. Up Highway 95.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public? All right, here now, come back to the commissioners for questions to staff. I got a question for staff. I know we're not talking about zoning or anything, we're talking about the major amendment case part of it. My question is, and I think a lot of it sounds to me that what they're trying to do is a commercial, if they take away the apartments and all that stuff from the plan, is that the classification, retirement community plan unit for a commercial, or is there a different option classification that maybe they're not seeing that would help with what they're trying to actually build, or is that it right there? Because I think that's what throws everybody off. Retirement community plan unit development.
Mr. Chairman, the plan, this land use will allow several zonings, and what they're gonna at the end, if this gets approved, they will be able to apply for a plan development zoning, which they can tailor-made their uses on that property allowed on all the allowed uses under that land use. So they're gonna tailor-made a zoning, and that's the best one that kind of fits what they want to do with their proposal.
So it's just the wording of the classification called retirement.
Retirement
or plan.
community.
There's not something more or less open or broad to seize.
Mr. Chairman, technically the classification is retirement community / which means or sometimes.
Yeah, I get
planned unit development.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to establish a retirement community out there, they have that option. They would have to apply for rezoning that accommodates that use. The planned unit development, because they're proposing a mix of uses, a convenience store, RV parking, storage units, possibly apartment units, that would be accommodated under a planned unit development district where they specifically tailor a zoning district for specific uses with specific developments.
Yeah, and I understand that. I understand that. That's my question is. That's the classification. There's not another one where you can take off the word retirement part of it. It's that section in our book.
That is what they need for what they're proposing.
For what they're pros. Yeah. Mr. Barrazas, something else you want to add?
I can just read out all the zoning allowed under the retirement community plan unit development, and it's mostly is high density residential lots, also allowed for RVS zoning, recreational vehicle park, local commercial, and PD. That's when they're gonna.
And there's not one just for commercial.
C1 is local commercial.
There's not a classification that was just addressed for commercial one that they wanted to create a commercial development.
No.
Mr. Chairman, if they wanted C1, they could only have uses that are allowed under the C1 zoning district.
Right. But the classification is still going to be called retirement plan.
It's going to be called planned unit development.
Correct.
With the word retirement community in front of it.
Yes.
That's my question. So that's the part that is screwing it up because I get everybody's, and I truly trust me on this one. I do get the safety factor there too, but I get the private. But okay. Any other questions? All right. Bringing it back to commission. Oh, let me bring back the applicant to answer any concerns that he might have heard from the public.
I think the reason that it's this zoning that they're asking is because we asked for C1 for the commercial establishment, the RV park, and the storage. That's what we wanted at first. And they said that we had to go to.
And I think the RV park is the part that throws it off. Maybe we just did the commercial and the storage. I don't know if that changes it, but I think the RV park kind of opens it up for RV park use that we're all.
Reason I came back up here is because this parcel was originally a homestead going back into the early 1900s. The encroachment has not been from us. it's been from the military. They have gone in there and surrounded it. In the last 2 years, they have indicated that now they are shooting guns over the top of Highway 95, and they're going to have to close down Highway 95 for 1 to 2 hours when they start doing some of these other tests. I have never heard any hearings of what they're going to do as they have expanded out there and done other things. They have taken away the rights that we have had. Let me tell you the rights that I feel like we have been encroached upon. We had meetings with them where they asked us to do what we're asking for. And then it has changed over the last 20 years that this has happened. About 3 years ago, as they were realizing the situation, they got permission to purchase the property, and they sent me letters that they want to purchase the property because of the different things that they're going to be doing on the property. We met with them several times. I've met with the Secretary of the State of Arizona because they wanted to know if we would also accept trades on some of the land over closer to the river. We told them that we would. I talked with the Secretary of State 2 or 3 times, and then it stopped. And the thing that has got it to the place where it's at today is they had a lease for tank crossing across the property. And I've had that lease with them for over 20 years. 4 years ago, they did not put things in the lease that they said they were going to put into the lease. And then what they did is they went and got an appraiser from someplace up in Northern California and reduced the lease price by 60%. And then I wouldn't sign the lease. Their payments would come in the arrears. In other words, they would they'd have the lease coming around, and at the end of the lease period, they would pay their lease payment. Because I wouldn't sign the lease that last time when they changed the appraisal and lowered it down by 60%, they would not pay that lease. And finally, the governor's office and everybody had to get involved in it, and 4 years later, they finally paid for the lease. And they also had to pay for the 3 years that legislation went forward. A lot of this stuff you wouldn't know. I would like approval for this for one reason only, that they would get serious about either the purchase or us developing it. And like I say, they have encroached upon us rather than us encroaching upon them. And that original homestead goes back into the early 1900s, and that property has always been there. And there has not been any hearings for all of the different things that they are doing out there that have continually encroached upon that property. And the attitude that has changed from 20 years ago with the commanders that were out there, and I have some of the people that were in the meeting that would be willing to come and tell you that, yes, that's what we requested. We wanted the C-store. We wanted the RV park. We wanted the storage because they wanted to bring people in from various parts around the world, and they wanted to have opportunities for their jobs and things because they would have these other activities out there at the lake. That's the reason that they wanted those things. But it has changed, and I admit to that. We have told them that we are willing to sell the land and we are willing to do something.
Okay.
But I don't know if I can't get the rezoning, I don't know if they're going to get serious about moving forward to do it. And I think that this needs to be done, it needs to be approved, so that they can get off of their dusts and get to work.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobs.
And I understand now that they are talking about shutting down the highway at various times for 1 to 2 hours at a time as they're testing their weapons shooting down range. What else could I tell you? I could tell you what else I think, but I don't think.
No,
you wanna
that's
hear
fine.
it.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobson.
And I want to respect them too, because I know that they're giving a service.
And commanders change and time changes, yes.
But I do think that I do think they could be a little bit more professional about what they're doing, and that when they send us a letter saying that they want to purchase the property, I think they ought to go through and finish up whatever they're doing.
Thank you.
And if they don't want to buy it, then let us develop and use that property for what it's good for. And like I say, I don't care about the apartments. I want the C-store, the boat storage, and the storage units, and we would like to have some spaces there for the people coming in on weekends or other times to be able to park there also.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. All right, at this time, I'm going to go ahead and close. We already had closed public session. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. On page 1 of it, the staff recommendation indicates denial. Unless I'm blind, which is very possible. I'm not seeing the grading sheet in here.
Well, this would be a major amendment.
We don't do those.
Or would there not be one for that?
Mr. Chairman, we don't do a development evaluation checklist for amendments.
That would be on the development side if it were to go to the next section. Yeah.
Well, that answers that. Thank you.
Okay, so do I have a motion?
Is that what you're looking for?
What?
That's the first page.
Oh, no, I got that.
Oh,
No,
okay.
thank you, yeah, thank you. No, I said, do I have a motion? Do someone would like some, commissioner like to make a motion on this item?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir?
I'd like to make a motion that we deny this application for this.
Okay.
I second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against?
Nay.
Nay.
Mr. Chairman, I need a roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
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 Aye.
Back to a tie.
Oh, no.
We really missed the other person. It's a tie.
Mr. Chairman, you have the option of making another motion
Or?
or
You're making it sound like I have options. That's not what's another option.
What's the option?
Or can the applicant continue,
because it's a tie, the motion to deny fails, so it goes up as a recommendation of approval.
Okay. Okay. No other motion? That's what it is. All right.
Okay, moving along to case number 25-18, JPM Development LLC.
Got approved. Go ahead.
Recommendation.
You want to explain it? Go ahead.
Well, we don't generally address the public.
No, I'm
We
asking you to go ahead and
address-
clarify it to the
Yes.
commissioners too.
The motion was recommended for approval to the Board of Supervisors. So there's no final action here. It will go to the Board of Supervisors.
All right, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, the applicant requests continuance on resigning case 2518 to the next available meeting.
I hear a motion.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to continue rezoning case number 25-07. Any discussion? All's in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Motion passes to continue it. Moving along, case number, and I said 25-018, I apologize.
Yeah, that's what you threw me off.
Yeah, right, yes. Special use permit case number 25-18. Staff?
Which item are we on, please?
Number 7.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jesus Carrillo, Senior Planner, presenting this special use permit case number 2518. The request for this special use permit is per section 602.03F of the Yuma County zoning ordinance to allow a wireless communication facility on a parcel 2.75 acres in size, zone suburban range 2 acre minimum. The property is located in the North Gila planning area at 9723 South Avenue 9E, Yuma. And as mentioned previously, the intent is to allow the construction of the monopole wireless communication facility 80 feet in height. This is the zoning map. The property is in the crosshatch in the center. Properties to the properties around there are currently zone SR2, MHS, and RA20. This is the aerial view. This is your property. It's outlined in blue. And there's another closer picture of the property, outlined in blue as well. And this is the SAPN that was submitted by the applicant. The proposed location of the wireless communication will be located on the portion that is highlighted in yellow. Staff recommends approval of special use permit case number 2518 with the following performance conditions. Within 60 days of Board of Supervisor approval, all owners or their agents must provide the following: an ARS 121134 waiver. And for operational conditions, the approval of special use permit is based on the SAPN submitted by the applicant. Any change from the SAPN will require approval by the county planning director pursuant to sections 402.04 of the Yuma County zoning ordinance. Number 2, the special use permit is limited to a single monopile tower and associated ground equipment. For number 3, the proposed tower must be lighted with a red beacon on the top of the structure for operation for dusk to dawn, nighttime operation, and with an additional steady burning red line placed on the tower at 50% of the tower total height. Number 4, the proposed tower must be removed with the cessation of its use. And that concludes that presentation. Any questions?
Commissioners have any questions of staff? Seeing none, I'll open it up to the public if the applicant for this case wants to come forward. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name's Tom Johnson. My address is 30767 Gateway Place in Rancho Mission Viejo, California. I'm the applicant for this proposed monopole installation for Verizon. As planning staff mentioned, this is an 80-foot size monopole. There were 2 points in the conditions that I'd like to address. One was it was noted as a monopine. However, the staff report does call it out as a monopole. The proposal is for a monopole, not a monopine, so that should be corrected in the conditions. Also, there was I think bullet number 3 was to light the tower. We do not have a FAA guidance on that yet, that this tower does need to be lit. So at this point, I would say it's not going to be lit unless the FAA comes back and says it does need it. I'm expecting that to not be the case. Back to the point of the project, Verizon's really trying to develop and enhance the communication services within Yuma and specifically residential areas where communications is poor. This area is definitely lacking in good quality service, hence why we're here tonight to try to develop this new tower for Verizon's use. I'm here for any questions, any comments.
Yeah, we've got a lot of crop dusters, low-flying airplanes, helicopters. I can't imagine not having it lit. That's just insane.
There are, right behind this parcel, there are towers, power lines that are even larger than the 80-foot tower that we're proposing. So it would be shocking.
I'm sorry, I just can't agree.
I understand, but again, we're governed by the FAA.
Because you do have a significant amount of agriculture in that area. And it is, well, a lot of that has to do with where the canals are, because they're coming up over the canals anyway.
Right, so that would be the same concept with antenna then.
You know, something stuck out in the middle of where they don't expect it is all. I mean, we used to have, when they started using hawk houses, we had the pilots running into them because they didn't know they were there. So, that's all.
Unless I'm mistaken, that is actually a requirement in that, because that is in the flight zone too. So is it staff, is it your understanding that that is a requirement? I know that you're recommending it as in a condition, but is it not a requirement?
Mr. Chairman, at the time of the building permit applications being submitted, we will require approval from the FFA and the MCAS as well. And I believe that's going to be a requirement for them.
So either way it goes, if we do approve, recommending to go forward, they'll still have their
Still have
conditions.
to obtain approval from the FAA and the
Are you understand that,
MCAS.
sir?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're already in the midst of getting the FAA approvals. So whatever that dictates.
As far as the pine from pole, does that make any difference?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, it doesn't make any difference. We can make that correction on the staff.
Any other questions from staff?
I
From
think,
commissioners?
Chairman, I think the pine looks better than a pole.
If it's in the residence, but
Yeah.
you're gonna hide it with date
But out there, it doesn't fit in with the infrastructure.
Okay.
Yes.
But we do need Verizon because I live about 200 yards from there. So.
You don't want the,
You need some help.
Yeah.
you're gonna think it's a date palm and they're gonna go try to.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Okay, thank you, sir. If we need you to come back, we'll ask you to.
Sounds good.
We'll now open it up to the rest of the public. Anybody for or against, please step forward.
First time I ever come into anything like this.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Martin Aceto, address 9654 South Jasper Way. Is that it? Okay. So this is the first time I ever come to one of these things. I see them on YouTube. How much minutes do I have anyways?
2.5 left.
Okay. Anyways, this is the first time I come over here in one of these kind of atmospheres, and I observed everything. You guys are to be in this. I like that. I already talked to him, so they're good.
Are you here to
I live
discuss
there.
this case?
I live there.
Okay.
I live there. Okay. I live there. So if you guys live there, then you guys know. If you don't live there, you don't know. But I live there. So I know what he's trying to do. I appreciate that, okay, for what he's trying to do. So thank you very much, Verizon. There's another person that wants to talk about other things, but.
Well, you're for it?
Yeah, I'm for it, because I live there, okay? And I was gonna stand up with those other two guys because I go to Parker every day. I know what's happening. I know what's going on. If you don't have experience of something that we're voting on, it's better to get somebody experienced that's been around to see, to make that decision. We just can't make decisions because society, social, I'm your friend, I'm his friend. You know, I'm the president of HOA here, right over here. This way.
Okay.
Okay. First time ever. Somebody pushed me to do that. They told me I was good at it. Okay? And I didn't want to do nothing. Why? Because I had to spend my time, my effort, job, paperwork, going house to house, like I'm campaigning. So I know this. It's like I'm the president of the United States there. honestly. Because rules, sheriff, anything that goes on, it's me. If the bad things go wrong, it's me. If the good things go right, everybody comes over here and lines up in the line. But if when things go bad, everybody goes over here and I'm the target. Okay, so for you guys that are making all the rules and all the, because what you guys say goes, basically. You guys are the, so we depend on you guys to make good decisions. I'm sitting over there and I'm observing. I'm 57 years old. I've been around the United States, around the country. I was in the Navy, military. I knew what the guy was talking about, but I also know the other side. And I wanted to speak, but I don't want to offend anybody because I speak a lot. I talk a lot. I'm wise. I just don't share it because people get offended. Okay, and so I have a chance to speak public. Okay, and I monitored the time of other guys we're talking over here. So that's why I asked you. I want to see what
That's
you're
why
going to
I'm
say.
still letting you go, so.
That's right. That's right. So, I might talk a lot, I might act weird, but I know I'm smart. I observe. I see, I like to read people. I got a list of jobs, and that's what my job, monitoring, interrogating what you're thinking, what you're not thinking, your face feature, the way you lay back, the way you look, yawning, not interested in it. I'm public. I'm watching you guys. I know who's good and who's not. But that's why I don't like going to these places, because I detect. Yeah, but.
Recommendation.
Right. And so you make recommendations, so you guys have more power than I do. And your recommendations count, not mine. But maybe it'll help you guys as leaders, because you guys are leaders, right? To make better decisions. And and do it for the people, not for yourselves or each of you guys, or do it for the people. That's what it was supposed to be, So thank you for letting me talk, and I hope you guys don't see me again.
Thank you. Anybody else for or against?
Maybe me, but my English is not well.
Okay, well, do your best. You're welcome.
It's just a question.
Please speak your name and address for the record.
My name is Elizabeth Carrillo.
Okay.
9658 South Apache Tears, Yuma, Arizona. My question is, it's the first time that the county sent to me the letters for a new projects about the where I live lines, so I don't know the towers.
Yes.
Thank you. Towers. But my question is, if the company build big
The tower.
the tower is only for Verizon, but we had another company. What is the benefit that we have about the Verizon's towers there? I don't know. And also, what is the my house is in the Apache Tears.
Okay.
It's too close to the tower.
Okay.
I don't know if it's true that I think, but the tower for 5, what is the new red?
5G?
Sometimes it's not good for people,
Okay.
right? If they building the tower for Verizon, what is the benefit for us?
We can ask that question of the applicant when you're finished with what your concerns, but please.
Yeah, but I was thinking people living around me, they come today, but anybody is here, but only is my question because it's too close to my house. And I don't know what is the consequence of health.
And that it's
concern.
dangerous?
Yes, I concern about that. But it's not benefit for me because my company is not Verizon. It's not benefit for me. We had towers there for electrics and a lot of towers around. But it's my concern about this. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk. It's my first time here in the county, but maybe that experience has helped to me to talk around my neighborhood. But for me, it's not benefit. Only the Verizon towers stay there. But if somebody can be explain it better, I appreciate. Thank you.
Okay.
Muchas gracias.
Mr. Johnson, would you like to come back up? I know you're going to want to be addressing her, but address us.
Yes. So I guess kind of the short answer to the benefit, right? Obviously, the benefit is for any Verizon customer. That is indicative of why you've got AT&T, you've got T-Mobile, you've got Verizon. Those are your big three carriers. They're all building networks to supply service to their customers at the end of the day. So if you're not a Verizon customer, correct, you will not get the benefit from it, but you could be a Verizon customer the next month, a year from now, whatever your case is. It's personal choice. As far as the emissions go, so we are governed by the FCC. The limits under which, whether we operate under 5G, 4G, LTE, it doesn't matter. We all have to operate under the guidelines of the FCC. They set it, and we have to follow it. We do an analysis for every facility, whether it's an existing facility or a new facility. Anytime we touch the facility for a modification, anytime we touch the facility for a new build, we do an analysis that shows, are we within the FCC limits between utilizing this antenna, this radio, and this equipment, and ensuring that we are compliant. The typical aspect, and just put it in a percentage standpoint, when you think of it about out of 100% ratio, the average emissions on a typical cell site is around 10% of the 100% threshold that is set. So when you put it in that perspective and think about it, every aspect of it is safe.
I believe that the lady before you, what her concern was, is just she wants to hear from you that the people around her, including herself, are not going to be in any harm's way of electrical, of radiation, things of that nature. That's what's important to them. And you're saying that you take every step possible to ensure that there is nothing that's harmful from what you're building to the surrounding community, because you're regulated to ensure that you provide the safety of the folks that are within the operating area of your tower. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Did that answer your question, ma'am? Okay.
Question. I know we've had other tower providers come and install towers and for a specific company and so forth. Sometimes they lease space on the tower for other providers. Is this one just going to be 100% Verizon, or is that going to be a possibility?
The only carrier right now is Verizon. If AT&T comes along next month and says, hey, we need to co-locate on this tower because our service is bad here as well, by all means.
So the tower, because usually the tower structure is the part that put in the antenna or the module is where the other companies that come and say we want to pick you up.
Exactly.
So eventually there might be a benefit for other carrier clients that are not Verizon. Just to put that out there to the public, because I've seen that happen tower by tower by tower.
All the carriers have to have a need, have to have the budget in place in order to develop.
But you're doing the bulk of the cost by building the tower, then you lease out the room. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Any other comments for or against? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission for action and for comments and action.
I'll make a motion for approval as presented by staff and with the correction to the poll from Pine and then verification of the SEC requirement.
There is a motion and a second to approve special use permit case number 25-18 as presented by staff. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 8 on our agenda, text amendment case number 25-02. Staff?
I think you inherited it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Habib Barraza, presenting text amendment case number 25-02. This is a text amendment to the Yuma County zoning ordinance to adopt regulations for accessory dwelling units by amending sections 202, definitions, and section 310, accessory dwelling units, adding accessory dwelling units as permitted uses in the sections listed on the slide, and removing accessory dwelling units from section 601, also listed on the slide, from special use permits, from requiring special use permits. The intent of the proposed text amendment is to comply with the changes to Arizona revised statute approved by House Bill 2928, adding RS 11-810.01. The bill was signed by the governor on May 23, 2025, and will become effective from and after December 31st, 2025. I would like to mention that Arizona revised statute 11-810.01 G states, if a county fails to adopt development regulations as required by this section on or before January 1st, 2026, accessory dwelling units shall be allowed on all lots or parcels zoned for residential use in the county without limits. In the fashion that we usually present these text amendments, the proposed changes are shown below. Text that is a straight-through format is intended to be deleted, and text in bold font is proposed new text to be added. As you can see, this was already reviewed by the commission and the board. The staff recommends approval of text amendment case number 25-02, and that concludes staff's presentation. Ready to answer questions.
Move to approve text amendment case number 25-02.
Second. And a second to approve.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Next case, text amendment case number 25-03.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting this text amendment, case number 25-03. A text amendment to the Yuma County zoning ordinance, section 1106.01, cargo containers, to consider allowing cargo containers as accessory uses in residential zoning districts without the approval of special use permit, allowing more than one cargo container in residential zoning districts, allowing cargo containers to be stacked, and allowing cargo containers for human occupancy. Mr. Chairman, would you like, again, presentation, or I can just go through the recommendation? It's been discussed extensively. At this point, Mr. Chairman, staff recommends approval of text amendment case number 25-03. And that concludes staff's presentation.
I make a motion to approve text amendment case number 2503 as presented by staff.
Second.
There is a motion and a second to approve text amendment case number 25-03 as presented by staff. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay?
Ms. Castro?
Mr. Chairman, who seconded? Who? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, the tech person in the sound room says that your mic is turned off. I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 10 is request to initiate a minor amendment to the Yuma County 2030 Comprehensive Plan to add influence area of military installation and range. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting this request to initiate a minor amendment. This is a request to initiate a minor amendment to the 2030 Comprehensive Plan to add influence area of a military installation or range or Arizona National Guard site, and a list of included and not included military installation or range or Arizona National Guard site to the glossary, and to incorporate the corresponding boundaries in Section 14, Regional Coordination 14.5, Yuma Regional Development Plan, map number 1. And the intent of the proposed amendment is to comply with the changes to Arizona revised statutes approved by the governor on March 29, 2024, with House Bill 2548. And there's parts of the intent. And this is, staff is recommending the following changes to the 2030 comprehensive plan. Text that is in strike-through format is intended to be deleted, and text in bold font is proposed new text to be added. Here's in this slide is the proposed text changes. And on the left, you will see the current map, and on the right, you will see the proposed new map showing the influence area. This got the support of YPG and the MCAS. Staff recommends forwarding the proposed changes to the Board of Supervisors for additional discussion and input. That concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you, sir. Any commissioners have any questions of staff? Seeing none, I'll open it up to the public for any comment for or against. Please state your name and address again, please, sir.
My name, excuse me, my name is Jay Meyerdirk, 12540 South Colina Avenue, out in the foothills. I'm a military brat. I'm a city planner. Was born in a Hispanic country, although I don't look like it if you're going to judge on looks. What I say will have no impact on probably the action that you're going to take, but I thank you for the opportunity to say it. We live in a majority community or county, and that minority is Hispanic, specifically Mexican or of heritage. I was born in a Hispanic country. Today, under the current national administration, the Hispanic community is under attack by the federal military and is forced to take specific actions and enroll in that. The first time in over 250 years. As a representative of the public, I ask that you include within your statement of military activities which is intended to improve communications, that go both ways. We are frequently requested to make accommodations for them, but we are not be able to include the proposed actions of the military. The prior agenda item regarding the YPG is a prime example of that, of what needs to be included. Communications both to and from the military properties considered. The order for this action has come down to us from the federal and state dictates. It can be used in very different ways, so please be careful in what your final actions are. We need to look no further than our country's, our county's southern border and our western neighboring county and state. I want to say be careful of what you really say, and what it really says can be interpreted in many different ways. Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak on behalf of this motion? Seeing nobody, bring it back to the commissioners for action and comments.
I apologize because I stepped out to the restroom. Can you give me a quick recap again? At the end of the day, what are we trying to do?
Okay, we are going to add influence area to the glossary of the 2030 comprehensive plan. Also add the boundary on the map.
That's what I wanted to say, yeah.
Yes, and what it is, this amendment it's just, it's a 2-mile buffer from YPG and BMGR that any, let's say, special use permit case, rezoning, subdivision, we need to notify YPG and MCAS.
Okay, and this is part of that HB 2548?
Correct.
Any other questions for commissioners? Anybody have a motion?
Forward the proposed changes to the Board of Supervisors for additional discussion and input.
I'll second.
No, Mr. Chairman, This time the motion is to initiate the amendment to the comprehensive plan. The board has already heard this once.
Want to rephrase that again, Commissioner McDermott? What she said. There is a motion to initiate it. There is a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, nay? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, request to initiate amendment to Yuma County zoning ordinance, consider changes to section 704.03.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the same influence area, but now we're going to touch the zoning ordinance. And the request is to initiate a text amendment. Oh, there you go. To the Yuma County zoning ordinance to consider changes to section 704.3, definitions to include definition for influence area, to list including not including military installations or range of Arizona National Guard site, to depict the corresponding boundaries on the official zoning maps, and to incorporate the respective layer into Yuma County GIS. The intent. Here is the recommended changes, and this is the index of the zoning maps, and I'll show in yellow, so it's gonna affect every individual zoning map. So the request is to initiate a text amendment to the zoning ordinance.
Thank you. Any commissioners have any questions of staff?
Just for the record, we pretty much have no choice here, right?
No.
State statute, state law
Yes,
going
we
into
need to
effect.
adopt this.
For the record, I want to make sure. Okay, okay.
Twisting your arm.
Yeah. Almost like with the chickens and the
Right.
animals that we had to do today.
Change the
Any other questions, commissioners? Seeing none, open it to the public again for anybody for or against this initiation. Seeing same comment, I'll bring it back to commissioners for action.
Make a motion to initiate text amendment. There you go. Amendment to the Yuma County ordinance, consider section 70403. That's that presented.
You second that? Okay, there has been a motion to initiate the text amendment 704.03. Any second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay.
Forced aye, huh?
That motion to pass unanimously. Next item is discussion by commission members, planning directors of events attended, current events, and the schedule for future planning commission meetings. Anybody have anything good for the topic?
What do we have? What do we have? A reminder, if it's not on your calendars, maybe staff or planning and zoning commissioners, November 6th is going to be the Gary Knight Memorial Highway, what do we call it?
Dedication?
Dedication. So I don't know if, Gary Knight was very advocate on Highway 95 and a lot of stuff for the city of Yuma and the county.
You know the time and the location of that, please?
November 6th, 14, it was going to be at Desert Hills Civic Center.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be at 10:30 to 12. So not sure if, if county needs to provide invites or information to commissioners, whoever wants to attend.
Anything else, anything else for the good of the order? Okay, seeing none, we'll move it on to 13, the call to the public.
Yeah, we spoke.
Imagine that.
Are we getting a physical address or parcel number?
Mr. Chairman, NSA 728070001. I had a whole thing to say. I know it's late. I will keep it really short. I would just ask that at some point, if we could put on the agenda for next month to review paragraph 302.01 of the planning and zoning ordinance, specifically having to do with buffers and buffer areas between parcels and their adjoining uses, mixed use reasons. A commercial residence or commercial property change to a commercial property from a previous residence. When it's located next to a residence, the buffer zone becomes untenable, a complete hardship to new business owners. So I just want to revisit the size of that. I understand why the buffer zone is in place. I know no decisions can be made tonight, so I'd just like to have the opportunity to speak on that at length another day. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Comment, can you comment on that at all, Maggie?
Just direction to put it for future agenda.
Mr. Chairman, there is no action necessary on that.
Anybody else have anything good for the good of the order? Seeing none, I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you.